Hi, my name is Jason Womack. What are your 4 most limited resources? You know, if you get to the end of a day and you didn't do everything that you said you were going to do, or you finish up a quarter at the workspace and you didn't get to finish everything you were going to finish, or you get to the end of your life, you look back and you realize, I didn't get to do everything I wanted to do. What are the 4 limited resources? I'll bet you the first one that came to mind was time, wasn't it? Now, if time came to your mind as one of the 4 limited resources, definitely write that down. In fact, here's another number I'd like you to write down, 1,440. That's the minutes in a day. We all have 1,440 minutes. I have a 5-day experiment for you. I recommend people try things out for 5 days to know whether or not they could implement them on a regular basis. For the next 5 days, stop from time to time and ask yourself, how did I use my last 60 minutes? I can almost guarantee if you'll ask that question a couple of times per day over the next 5 days, you just may change how you're using that limited resource. Well, Jason, what are the other 3? I mean, I thought time was it. We're all limited by the number of hours in a week. What other things get in our way of doing what we said we were going to do? Well, the second one I talk about is energy. Hey, are you a morning person or an afternoon person? Do you wake up at the alarm clock ready for that day and ready to get going? Or does the sun go down for you to kick into gear? You know when you are, but you also know that your energy is limited. I don't care how much time you have. If you don't have the energy to be productive, it won't really matter. I've had people tell me that they scheduled a meeting for 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning. It was on the calendar. Everyone showed up on time. But there were a couple people who were still a little tired. There were a couple people who weren't energized during that meeting. So I definitely recommend that one of the things you do is match your actions, what you're going to do, with your energy throughout that day. All right, your 3rd limited resources, your focus. I mean, really, since the time you've been watching this video, have you thought about anything besides me? Probably. And what was it? A phone call you need to make later on? An email you need to send later on? Wondering, when is this guy going to stop talking so I can go on to the next video? Something probably came into your mind. Your focus is a very limited resource. A lot of research out there, by the way, on how many things we can focus on at one time. If you wanted to do a 5-day experiment to explore your focus ability, for the next 5 days, track these 2 things. The first one, what are you doing when you are multitasking? Do you go to a meeting and bring materials just in case the meeting's boring? Do you sit on the telephone and go through your email because you try and do those 2 things at the same time? Versus, what are you doing that is single focusing? Have you ever rented or checked out or reserved a conference room for yourself? You know, being a frequent flyer, I've found that when I get on an airplane and look over at the seat next to me, it's one of those 3 seats. When that middle seat is empty and the other person is against the window of the airplane, I know I've got some time and I can focus in. I also know I'm a morning person. I generally book my flights in the morning. I also know that I'm going to have some time on that airplane. So, time, energy, and focus. I'm able to get more done. Now, if travel is not a part of your life or your work, then you're going to want to translate those into your own work day and work style. Now, the 4th resource, for me, where it comes together, and why I would encourage you to watch more of our You videos here, the 4th resource, your systems and your tools. You see, if you don't know how to manage your tools, if you don't know how to use your systems, it's going to impact what you focus on. If what you focus on is distributed and distracted, it's going to impact how you use your energy. If your energy is dissipated and you don't have any, it's going to take you longer to be productive. So although we want to go at time management by looking at time, I also encourage you every now and then, go backwards. Look at how you're using your systems and your tools. Figure out how you can focus on the most important things and make those happen. Develop your work day so that it matches more appropriately to your own energy, and you just may find that time is no longer an issue. You're just being productive.